Well, in that case, welcome everyone to our college council meeting. It is 2:30 on the dot. We have a number of presentations today, so I will get us started. For those who are watching live on YouTube, thank you for being here at College Council, which is the highest level of governance at San Diego City College, where we have our wonderful representatives of various constituency groups on campus. You can add an agenda item to College Council one of two ways, either by reaching out to the representatives that I'm going to introduce momentarily to request an agenda item, or by reaching out to Janelle or myself in the president's office. We would love to discuss any matters that you bring forward. College Council, again, is the highest level of governance, and it is my honor to introduce the representatives. I don't see Mona, who is the past president and president-elect.
Yeah, she
Oh, thank you. Tilly is out and Masa is standing in for her. Robbie is the chair of institutional technology. Caesar is the information officer.
Present.
Jay is the supervisory representative. Present. Suna, who is absolutely special because she has her title bolded on the. Is the president of the chairs.
Not know why.
Susan is the dean of institutional effectiveness and co-chair of city planning.
Present.
Well, I love that the updated names there because I was going to roll off. D is our administrative rep. N for Diego, the president of Associated Students, is Maximus, who is over governmental affairs. John is the vice president of administrative services.
Present.
Marciano, vice president of students.
Present.
Sean, president of classified senate.
Present.
And Maria Jose is the president of academic senate.
Presente.
These- Maria Jose Zeron Perez. Although, why did you get the hyphens and Marciano doesn't? What's up with that?
You only has one.
These are our representatives from College Council. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, you can reach out to any of these representatives if you would like a matter discussed at College Council. The first agenda item, well, we just did, which is a roll call. The second item is approval of the minutes from August 29th. We can have a motion for approval. Great. We got first by Jay, second from Maria Jose Zeron Perez.
You don't have to say that.
I would actually love to roll my R's, to be honest with you. Any further discussion about the meeting minutes? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Would someone like to abstain or object? Hearing none, motion carries. First up in our presentations, and we have two today, is a matter I'm super excited about. Many years in the making during COVID, but we are ready for events at City. I'm going to turn it over to John Parker, who will take us forward.
Yes, thank you. And I am super excited as well. I don't use that word very often. But since I've been here, well, I mean, maybe the last 2 years, this has been in planning. Excuse me, and we've been stocking up on inventory for the various events, from preparing the campus to inquiries that we're receiving from the community, and due to the fact that we didn't have an authorization to serve liquor via liquor license, which we do now through a one-day process through a third party who would bear the responsibility. I want to highlight that we're starting to receive more inquiries because we have to turn a lot of people here in downtown. So all the inventory that we've been purchasing for our events on campus over the years, we're structuring to be able to support Ginger, who is a one-person show right now, who takes care of all of the events. We're happy to present to you today through Roxanne and maybe they may have some input. Events at city, and we'll start with a video and we'll we'll go to our packages and we'll do a.
Can you set the tone for the video?
Yeah, yes, please,
So-
yes.
This because it was a full operation to get Ricky off the campus. So we had a lot of input,
Including my wife.
yeah, his wife. She was a part of the plan to have a mock wedding here. But you'll know our main characters are our city family and all of those that are within the audience is it's all of city. So it was a collaborative effort to get Ricky off the campus. We're literally hiding in conference rooms, and as soon as I got the text message, he left. We all broke out and started setting up everything. So it was an actual very fun day. I want to say and give a shout out to all the people here that were involved. Sip, Victor with the video, with the pictures, Bianca and her family that came and donated their time, our facilities crew that set up the flowers were done within facilities, and we had a lot of vendors come and donate their time to participate in this mock wedding. So it was amazing. Our very own BPSS has a whole cameo here, so we'll just take it away to watch the video. It was a lot of fun.
Lounge singer.
So it was a lot of
Oscar
fun.
worthy.
Yes,
Yes.
I agree. It was a group effort. It was a lot of fun. It just gave us an idea of what can be done, and that was all homegrown. So the fact that we have that talented team here at City College is only going to make things bigger and brighter here. So you got your wish, Ricky. I delivered. We all.
Every time.
You can't say it
Every
again. I
time.
don't want to hear it anymore about weddings at City. So there was a wedding at City. As far as the market, did you want to talk about the flyer? So there was a
Yes.
lot of studying around the pricing. So the pricing, we kind of ventured into doing research on how much it costs for a wedding downtown, and you would, I mean, I'm sure you have an idea of how much that would be, but we kind of took the prices based on 5 different locations here. It was the Marriott Convention Center, the U Club, the A Club, and I want to say the Sheraton. And within those, this was, we are by far the least amount to give and host a wedding, based on, you know, our location, the parking availability, the vendors that are available, the services that are available to anyone that wants to get with the area here. So that's pretty much what the price is. And what we were comfortable with our costs and as well as what it would cost for us to do and perform these services and also make profit as well.
And as Roxanne mentioned, these, excuse me, are about the median prices. Now, that the ones that are Xed out, those are the median prices. So we're introducing a special just to garner a little more interest. This would be our loss leader initially. Again, to get some bookings right away, and then we'll revert back to the original prices, the median prices for those 5 institutions that we conducted the market analysis for. If you want to talk about the bookings we have, that's all the interest.
Well, our lovely bride and groom are actually going to get married here at St. Louis. So that will be our first wedding here at college this year, this fall. November 11th.
And I want to acknowledge all the work that went into this, and while we're talking about weddings, this is events at City, right? So the weddings is one facet of this, and since I've been here, we have received a number of requests for people to get married here. But as soon as we tell them that, you know, we are a dry campus, and I don't drink, but that was a requirement to be able to do this. But there are also other events, and you can talk about the swap meets and some of the other events that are going on as well, in
Yeah.
addition to the wedding. But before you do that, for those of you who don't know, these are two of our employees, who, Sal and, Bianca, who essentially are alum of City College. Sal's a student right now, and an employee, will be the first official wedding here at San Diego City College. So a lot of hard work went into getting the equipment, setting up the pricing and the vendors, getting the district's alcohol process policy updated so that we could bring in additional revenue. And if we do this correctly, which I know we will, we'll actually be able to hire students to work in some of these spaces. Because the idea is to keep our students working on campus. We have a photography program, like the opportunities here are endless. Why don't you talk about some of the other events that you have in the pipeline on campus that people may not be aware of that are happening like Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays?
So, I wish I would have, Caesar, do you have that drone footage?
Caesar.
Do you have that drone footage of the, farmer's market? So we did a test run with the farmer's market, the Soul, Soul Market Group from LA, which is like, vintage clothing, shoes. And we did it on lot 3, the top of Garfield, and it was very popular. So they wanted to come and rebook the City College, so that we booked throughout the fall, as well as the Orange County Farmers Market. And now we have, the Black Soul Swap Meet that will be booked as well. So, there's a lot of interest for farmers market and swap meets, and that is something that we have actually, 2 of them are booked in March of next year. So there's a lot of interest. If I guess I'll send the drone video to the college council, and see if you can get it up, but there was actual, we have a very talented facilities crew, one of, Jay's team, he came and brought his drone and did the footage for us, for the Soul Market.
Here it is.
Oh, there it is.
And this just shows the potential. Like, I would have never thought about doing an event on the top of this parking garage on a Saturday. Look how many vendors are there for this event. And these are hundreds, if not thousands of people coming on our campus that would have otherwise not even ventured on our campus. So there are also outreach groups connected to this as well, to interface with the public in ways that we hadn't before Roxanne and Jay and their team started doing events like this.
And then we also are part of the food trucks. So I don't know if there's a food truck foodie in here that follows there is a organization that has different types of parks. There's the main one that you all may be familiar with in City Heights, how they have a food truck park. And then they move down to Chula Vista, and then they can have another location, Fashion City. They are working to incorporate City College as a location throughout the week. So we'll have anywhere from 12 to 14 different food trucks come, and we're proposing to use the same lot because there's easy access to, the people that are coming to the park, as well as getting in and out of that location. Because you go up the hills, you go out that way all the way around. Or you can park down below, walk up, and then exit the other way. So location is key here, as we all know. So there is a lot of interest moving forward with events in the city.
Any questions for Roxanne or other additional comments? So in a perfect world, the first word in community college is community, and these are community events that we had not had on our campus that are now going to bring in additional revenue. On a typical year, Ginger and her team, Ginger, would probably bring in, what, about $250,000 of civic center rentals. With these additional efforts, I believe we're gonna get closer to $1 million worth of revenue just off of facility rentals. And thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people coming on campus that otherwise wouldn't. So thank you, Roxanne, thank you, John. This is about 2 years in the works, and to see it coming into existence shows us the potential that we have because of the location of our campus. Thank you all very much. Anything else on this?
Roxanne, I send you my dance fee.
No, that was volunteer your time, sir.
So as we get these documents, this is something else that you can share with your colleagues, that City College is a place that they can hold conferences and weddings and other events. And I would hope you would share these things for those of you who are on social media so that we get the word out there and we can get all of these facilities rented. Because our ability to book these things then mean we can go to Jay and his team and hire additional facilities folks. We can hire additional students to work in these areas so that people can be on campus and they can be gainfully employed. If there's nothing else, again, thank you, Roxanne, John, and please send my regards to the entire team. And yes, they did a mock wedding here and got me off campus because my wife told me I had something I had to do to get off campus. There were a number of people involved in, so thank you all for putting this together.
Thank you.
Marciano and Tilly. And for update on the college's retention efforts.
Yeah, so this is just a quick update to remind folks that we have our enrollment forum on the 22nd, and the focus is going to be on retention. And so we have Suna and her many talents helped us put together a really, what I think is going to be a really engaging and informative forum to allow folks to really engage around our retention efforts and being able to share with some of their thoughts, but also for us to then also be able to share with folks some of the many things that we're doing, and will include being able to provide updates to our current retention plan. And so that's going to be an exciting part of that we'll walk away with something pretty tangible. So that is coming up on the 22nd.
Great. We've seen a huge surge of people back in person at City College, and we want to keep them. That's the gist of this. We want to keep as many of the students who showed interest by registering in our college. And one of the things that will keep them here is our Wi-Fi and our email efforts. And I know that Diego here has requested a presentation, Peter, or an update on the email. And so I'll turn it over to our Associate Vice Chancellor over Technology Services, Peter, and he has two of his colleagues.
Yes. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me. If you don't mind, I'm just going to be up there. I'm going to introduce really key colleagues of ours. Could we go to the slide deck, please? Then we can launch into presentation mode. Yeah. So way behind. So it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me again. It's my second time. Once the slide deck comes up. While it does, I'd like to introduce Ms. Arilok Pransuthorn, who's our Director of Operations for ITS. And she's been with us for just a couple months now and has been a transformative leader thus far on getting a lot of the stuff. We went to Oracle Cloud, we were doing the network upgrade, the Wi-Fi project as well. So it's, Rose she goes by Rose, so easier to pronounce. And she's been a really good asset for our district and helping us move forward with many parts of our technical operations. I believe if you were at the library event a couple of weeks ago, saw some message may have met her there. And with us, we have Charles Mills. He's been with us for just a little shorter, assigned to San Diego Community College District as we work towards, having the right resources to support our staff, faculty, our students, and the community itself. So Charles has been on the job together with another member of our team. His name is Paul Palomares. He's not here right now. He's somewhere around being busy. So we have what I consider to be a full team for the operations moving forward. And with that. Stuff with technology, right? So, and these are our team members here that are helping run our operations. And if you need to contact the folks, another application that we launched in June of this year is the new Service Desk application, the help desk application. You can go to help.sdccd.edu. It's going to be a test off of my presentation. I'll get you the links, including the student email cheat sheet that I saw on the agenda today. So I want to mention new desktops, 620 that were provided over June, over the summer. And I am going to fund an additional 140 to complete the entire campus. So that'll be a complete Windows 11 interface moving forward for San Diego City College. With that, it's not only a nice new machine, but we get modern operating systems, better security, and basically on the back end, on manageability, there are definitely some additions that we enhance with that user experience. So thank you to John Parker and Rob Yule, Dean Yule, and support from Ricky on getting this college moving forward for this college. We've done this throughout the district, Mesa, Miramar, and College of Continuing Education. So we've been a little busy for the past, 6 months or so. I want to provide a little bit of perspective here as we get into Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is not just, there's the access point. It's not just a one-for-one replacement. What we had to look at, dating back to, I've been here for 2.5 years, was really looking at the analysis, doing a SWOT analysis for our network operations. We wanted to see what the capacity of growth can be. And the current infrastructure at that time was prohibitive on what we can actually do on further enhancement, new services, augmented reality. Apple is doing an event today, new iPhone 15, and some new tech is coming out. Where are we going to go with Glass in the future? What are some of those expectations and resources that we'd be able to provide to our students or programs? And if we're going to go after grants, those are some opportunities that we should have in order to build that platform. So Maslow hierarchy of needs, we have these opportunities. We want to look towards modernization of infrastructure and services. We want to, again, just talked about user forecasting, where jobs are going to be, what the expectations of those students that are coming in for a wedding, seeing that we have services, or some other opportunities that someone's going to hear about how awesome San Diego City College is. Then we had to move into acquisition. This was a pain in the butt because we had supply chain issues. We had the dirty little thing called COVID pandemic that really prohibited getting equipment at hand. And John and I had to go through. We were so lucky. We got a really bad auditor from the Department of Education that made our lives very difficult. Back and forth. Why do you need a new Mac computer for Ricky? Well, it's president and he needs one because it's outdated. It was just a banter. We can't just
6 months. It took 6 months.
It took 6 months of banter between someone from Washington and John and myself on trying to provide justification. So unfortunately, that was the bad card that we got for the district. But thank you to John for the resilience on getting that through. And then we right now in this implementation and use phase for the project. So there are definitely some the foundations that we had to build and the way that we are structuring the Wi-Fi services and the improvements in the network configuration really took some time, a lot of effort into this as well. So Wi-Fi. So our district is implementing a single platform that allows you, any one of you, if you're moving across the campus, both indoor and outdoor, a single credential. So you can log in with your credential, students as well. We're no longer going to be writing the passwords on the boards. That's not right. It's not here in this room, thank goodness. But you'll be logging in with your credentials that you have, your email address or your student ID. And you'll be able to move anywhere on campus. But we're going to go better than that. We're going to be able to go to any one of the campuses within our district. That single credential that you'll be able to move. So it is definitely a one San Diego experience that we're trying to establish with a level of, again, security, services, and making sure that we are sound in a platform moving forward. So Security, we talked about, that becomes the foundation, access control across the board for all stakeholders, very important for us, for faculty or students that are either indoor or outdoor studying, availability of services, making sure that we have resiliency in the network, and then the power of digital equity. That is so important. You know, we want to remove barriers. That's been the message that's come out of Dr. Shabazz ever since I first met him, together with other colleagues here at this college. So it's really about removing those barriers, making sure that we're creating that rich teaching and learning environment. Well, this is a little bit of an eye test. If we can either shrink the bar on top, but this is this looks like an equalizer on the music, right? So, but all jokes aside, we have some key buildings and key challenges in front of us. BT and AH. I've learned that the construction of those buildings are because of.
Yeah.
Okay, so BT and AH somewhere on this list, and we are working very, very diligently to have it ready this month, the month of September. On Friday, I provided an update to John and Robbie that we're able to get some of the core switches into those, into the BT or AH?
Both.
Both, thank you. And that level of acceleration and basically the ability to expand the services. Now, the end of these here ties back into, and I'll get a copy of this presentation for you. It's a tentative completion. However, I think we're moving at such a good pace right now. These dates will be moved up to some of these buildings. So I heard about the parking lot. Yes, she left. We have a parking lot Wi-Fi capacity as well. So there's another opportunity if you choose to have in the future. So these are the expected completion when the entire Wi-Fi infrastructure will be ready for this college.
So Peter, we can't see, well, I can't see the dates.
I'm right here, I can't see either. So this is October right here. And we're looking at this is September 11th, which was yesterday. And we're leading into basically mid-September into early October.
And can you walk us through, Peter? You know, you pointed out, and I'll point out again because people maybe don't realize it, is this Wi-Fi hub that's on the ceiling right here. And I learned a new term because I got to see where the switches were being kept. But walk us through what that process is, because we're hearing from folks who are in certain buildings that the Wi-Fi is out. So when the folks are putting in a switch, does that then mean that the Wi-Fi is turned off, or what is that process like?
Yeah, so new switches will be placed in this something called IDF, which is a closet every floor of a building. And that is basically where all the wires, the Cat6 cables are plugged into. Those cables now connect to your wall jacks as well as the AP access points. So this is an all access point. It has some limitations on it, the number of connections that you have. You have a good problem. I'll try to find a positive out of this, right? So the good problem is that you have more students, and more students are coming with a watch, a phone, a tablet, or a PC. The calculation is 3 to 1. So now I'm competing for a connection to that AP, you're competing as well as everyone else in this room. So the limitation on the old AP is that there were about maybe 90 connections. So you flood a room now with 100 students, it ain't gonna work. Because you got now, it's asking if someone is coming there with 3 devices, it's 3 by 100. So you just do that average, it's 300. So that's why you get network saturation. And you would not have any connection at that point. So that's the problem that we're facing right now at City College. In a way, it's a good thing. We can see, and of course, we know we need to do some work, which is what we're doing by implementing new switches, new fabric, and redundancy in the network to ensure that we don't have any drop packets and individuals are connected securely. Thanks.
All right, so we can go to the next slide, maybe. Thank you.
See. All right, there we go. So in summary, a little bit about what is happening right now. This cabling, new cabling that needs to occur for the new access points, new switches that we have. We have installation taking place right now as we completed those two buildings, AH and BT, last week. Testing, we need to do quality assurance, making sure that works. You know, we just want to come to you and say, hey, it's ready, John, we're fine, sign off on this, we move on. We want to ensure that we have that level of connectivity. Activation of those APs. Now, I have this going all the way through November. That's for the entire college, indoor and outdoor. And Ricky, from last week, I think it's important to us to establish a training regimen for the colleges. It might be simple, you know, for some of us, we might think, oh yeah, it's just find an SFID, click on it and log in, right? But the College of Continuing Education went live with their new Wi-Fi last week. And we've actually started to notice that people are just still don't think. They have questions. And we want to make sure that we don't leave anyone behind and ensure that we're providing the information. So I think it's important for us to work towards it. I'm open to get some help from the campus so we can establish some training, best practices, 30 minutes type of workshop within the library. It will be helpful. Library. So that's definitely basically an order of operations that we're looking at for our citizens. So wireless security. So before I get into a quick demo, I want to explain a little bit about one of the enhancements that we get, one of many. We get the ability for better security. So that's the authentication and verification validation of who you are as an individual. We look at availability across the board, making sure that we have 100%, that's what we shoot for, 100%, but sometimes it's 99.9%. Switch might need to get upgraded, a controller might need to get a new patch. And more importantly, we're looking at that one San Diego experience. And that is, again, that transformative sort of seamless single integration into services that we can provide to students, faculty, and the community that comes on to our organization. So I just so let's go over to here. Can't find my window. Oh, did we close the? Computer's gonna make me sweat.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. Oh, there it is. Of course, I'm tapped out. What I'm showing you here is specifically along the lines of the dashboard. And, you know, we love data, especially in IT. We want to analyze, want to make sure that these outcomes that we invest, look at the value. We spent, John, how much was it per year? 1.3 million for switches, APs, and associated license that go along with this. Overall, for the district, we spent $8 million for this network. Now, I just want to reiterate something before I can show a little bit more about this dashboard. What we did is a network focus, meaning that we're taking all what was old and we put it in something that is new. And that ability to expand. Remember the Maslow hierarchy needs? That is important because we're growing capacity, we're growing services, and getting ready for a platform that can scale for us in the future. This is kind of crazy because usually you do that with a bond. And we did this with a combination of curved dollars and some contingency funds that became available to IT as of September of last year. So the investment that was made is really going to help us move forward with definitely some better insights on what is happening. Now, this is the Wi-Fi dashboard that we have. So we're able to see every campus, every AP, every room, what that performance is, and give us a better analysis of, hey, the Wi-Fi is not working, it's horrible. We can go into here and verify, reboot, look at an access point and troubleshoot it so that we do not have any downtime. We can also analyze, where are folks going? Are they going to Canvas? Are they integrating or looking at our library? services that we're providing? Are they doing other instructional stuff, or are they going to TikTok? Or are they doing Facebook video or something, this is a little bit more insight that we're able to do. We're able to be a little bit more proactive in making sure that we have operations moving forward for us. So I'm going to go here. Let's pick on Cesar Chavez, which I know is live right now. And I go into network device, I get into all device state. Okay, let's go ahead. So this is literally every AP that we have here. We can validate that all green means go. It means green light. So it is a functional aspect of the operations. I'm going to go into sites 360, and I can verify, how are we performing from the basis at this particular location? This is definitely good insights that we did not have before. Again, from a technical perspective, it is very useful. It is again a way for us to troubleshoot that insights that we did, again, as I said, we didn't have previously. I also want to share that I want to look at the applications. Let's verify, what are people doing? If it shows me something. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. These folks are on Zoom. A lot of folks are on Instagram looking at videos. So we have some YouTube, we have some key data points that we have at this point. And this is useful. It's useful to somebody. It's definitely useful for our bandwidth utilization and functionality of what is happening. We can bandwidth shape a lot of the services moving forward for us. So this is one example. There's another one I would like to show quickly before I can get here. These Zoom elements. I'm going to lobby. There's an X on the side here. I just refresh. Get into extreme location. And of course, it gets into this other components as well, right? So this is where our network is actually being established throughout the county of San Diego within the colleges itself. And again, as I say, if a student is moving or faculty is teaching, you have part-time faculty, that experience allows that spanning that someone can work towards. What we like to do as part of the One San Diego campaign is to work towards establishing a relationship with the public library system. So that single credential can work with their operations as well. Want to work with CSU San Diego as well as UC San Diego to have that single credential. So if a student chooses to go and if they're allowed to study within those locations, that single credential will give them Wi-Fi access and capabilities within those locations as well. So in summary, with regards to this is where we are right now with the Wi-Fi project for this college. As we wrap up the services itself, these loads, it's taken some time. It has taken time, and unfortunately, on the ordering process, like I mentioned, making sure that we establish the security that was demonstrated. But more importantly, it's where we are headed as a college and as a district moving forward with technology. How are we able to better support learning in the future? So, and my last little pitch here, Cybersecurity Month is next month. We're going to have 2 days. I was a little ambitious last year, but we tried to do this every week at one of the different campuses. This year, San Diego City College, as well as Mesa College. So City College is on the 11th. We are working with the bachelor's program to participate in that. This year it's going to be open to students. So we need to circle back around on that. We need to get some help on marketing that to the campuses as well, and throughout for the college. So this will tie very beautifully into some of the changes and the new services that we're providing with the Wi-Fi service. Any questions about Wi-Fi before I jump into student email? Sir.
Are you waiting until every hardware is installed before you turn them on?
Yeah, we have to.
So November is a realistic turn on date.
So we'll go by building. The reason being is that if we do two, an old EAP and a new EAP, you're gonna have two SSIDs.
Okay.
So literally we just unplug and plug and make sure that there's one identifier for the EAP within that building. So with the bar chart that I shared, I'll be providing an update to John that can then distribute exactly, okay, BT is gonna go live September 30th. Something like
The
that. So
idea is then by November, every building would.
every building, that's correct.
Yeah, I want to touch on a couple other things that are worth sharing, particularly to those who are receiving concerns about the Wi-Fi, and that is, this project was intended to be completed over the summer, but the challenges with the supply chain was such that all of the equipment didn't arrive until now to be rolled out. And Peter, what I would hope is that in addition to sharing the PowerPoint, that Caesar can get with you and maybe put together a paragraph that can be shared in our monthly newsletter about some of these key points about where the new switches are installed and when folks can expect, but also this notion that what the delays that I learned something, the delays that people are experiencing are not connected to the project, but more so the limitations of the current system and the volume of people who are trying to log on. That was huge for me, and I think I saw Robbie's.
Yeah, I was just going to mention, and perhaps you can elaborate further. Once you do a cutover to the new system with the next point, our old traditional way of accessing Wi-Fi has changed. So over the years, we're used to knowing a Wi-Fi code that was pretty simple to figure out. Now it's a whole new appropriate process for everyone, including guests on campus, to find ways that they can log in appropriately. So there will be less of them writing the Wi-Fi on the marker board in front of the classroom. And it's more of a process of once you get in, you actually log in, and you're using your own credentials to get in.
So thank you for that, Daniel. That was part of my question, like how will we get in with that one time sign in? I don't know if you said, what would that happen? When we move everything to the one sign on for the Wi-Fi
So
for the whole district?
yeah, it will go, well, for the college, we saw the college because we have some different timelines from Miramar
Oh,
and
okay.
Mesa College. I will make those announcements on that hard cut date. We'll share that with John, we can then distribute that to you.
And a follow-up to that, would it be also like with our emails that once what we sign in and then a few weeks later we have to redo the whole sign on or?
Not on the Wi-Fi.
Okay, that's good.
No MFA,
Yes, thank you.
that's just Wi-Fi stuff that you're.
And with any rollout, the key piece of this is communication to all the stakeholders that this is happening and when it's going to happen. Caesar should be involved in that communication as well, so that we send the information out on all of our platforms. Any other questions about Wi-Fi before we go to student emails? Yes, Max.
It was more of a comment, but it's like I appreciate you for like the efforts and stuff like that. Because like as a student, like especially like I kind of like giggled when you said the AH, because I had the exact same conversation today in the AH building where even not just for myself and the students around me, but like the professors, you know, like they can't, like some of the classrooms, it just doesn't work, it takes a long time. And then especially like for my class, like now it kind of gets like sidetracked or like our classes we have to like do, like we're kind of late on it, you know what I mean? Just because like the computer is slow or stuff like that, we can get our presentations in. So I just say that I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. Definitely, we'll want to connect and work with Caesar. I just want to also share that Caesar is actually, we engaged in a conversation 2 weeks ago on how best to do video, 2-minute clips of how to connect, speak about, the whole new experience that we're going to be offering. So
Well, if you need an actor Maximus is a, yeah,
So, Taylor, take us.
and he's a communications major. I hear.
And Marciano's always good for a dance.
Russ Coffee.
Student emails.
Student emails. So we've been, one full year of student email, for the operations itself for the entire district. We went live at September 17th, I believe, last year. It has, there are two sides to this, picture. One is you have a group of individuals that are either having some challenges with MFA, but we also have a support system that's in place. We have both on the help.sdcc.edu, we can request support there. What we're establishing this term is actually on-campus visits of members of my team, the service desk team, to be here to have like an open table. If you have a technology question, you can engage with the Q&A with students or faculty and staff. I'm not sure if Mike Rubin, who is the project lead on that, has reached out to anyone yet. Campus, or John or Robbie, if he has reached out to you, but this is something that we started doing this in the spring. We had some good success with that, and I want to continue that at every one of our campuses. Now, the challenges for the MFA is just like, either someone does not want to download the Authenticator app, or they don't have a token. I don't have one with me, but it looks like a little USB drive, random key that comes up on it, and put in a key. Or I saw just now that you can get a text message as well. So you put that in as part of your operations. So the access, the system works, it's fine, the students are secure. We've had one little problem this term from a sense of phishing. We take such a pride in protecting our district now from the intruders from outside. So we have a multi-level security that we have in place, but we found a student who was doing malicious activities inside. So he gets inside and basically he blasts someone, and then that just activated a whole bunch of issues throughout the entire district. We've been able to take some steps to fix these issues. It started happening around a week before the start of the semester, and there was some disciplinary actions that actually occurred last week on this particular student. So email itself allows the student to have access to more than just email. It's the full 365 experience. So Word, Excel, PowerPoint, like how I'm bringing up PowerPoint right now. And then that direct integration has connected that back into Canvas. This is something that we're working on right now. So assignments can just be automatically imported into their Canvas shell. So instructors can then, collect assignments, et cetera, that students are supposed to provide. From a perspective, from an administrative perspective on the dashboard, it shows that we have a lot of activity on student email. Phishing is being blocked from outside. We just had that one perpetrator, which we were able to address. But I'm open to additional questions there. And I saw on the agenda there's like a cheat sheet. So I have Mike Rubin sharing that cheat sheet with us. And I'll get that distributed to you. You can then distribute that to other individuals across the campus. So, any questions about student email?
So the piece of this that we're finding out mainly through CE is that students who have antiquated cell phones may find themselves in a situation where they can't log in. And they need to do so in one of the 2 or 3 other options that are available. The other thing that is critical in Maximus, if you want to work with the student government, is students should be forwarding their emails to their personal if in fact they don't check their college. But in a perfect world, including every college I've worked at and been to, it is a requirement. This is an adjustment to going to a process where the college email is the official way that we communicate. And certainly, I know because I actually led this effort to get students their email so they get the additional discounts that go along with having a .edu email address, that this is a change and likely to take about a year, particularly for those who are not accustomed to using their .edu email addresses versus those students who are incoming freshmen and don't know any other way. So that's a lot of what we're seeing. But as Peter has said, there is a cheat sheet to help folks who are having challenges with this. That's good.
So the student email and the Wi-Fi password, is this something that a lot of people renew every semester?
Once you're a student or an employee, are working within the district, you're fine.
But you will have to authenticate your
One time.
one time.
So with your laptop. So if you start switching, if you have.
So it'd be like home, the first time you log in,
Exactly.
it recognizes.
Exactly.
So unless you get a new device,
Get your device.
okay, nice.
With the student email, you know, I assume as time in the culture changes that we do have an email, it's gonna settle better, but there's concern about the way we're using it now, just because there's a lot of students that still haven't moved to it. So faculty are not able to contact the students before the semester starts, like we had before in the portal. And because if the students are not using their email, then they're not getting communication from faculty. And I know this was brought up the district council, district governance council. But faculty are asking us, you know, in the academic senate, so I'm taking advantage that you're here to see if there is something we can do, because I think this is gonna take probably a couple of years to really settle for students. So what can we do so we can still maintain communication with students that are not using their college email until they get used to it?
Yeah, so this summer, Dr. Salton, together with Victor DeVol, initiated the process of the preferred email. And students are able to actually set that within PeopleSoft. So they can have a primary Hotmail, Gmail account as a preferred email. And that's now connected to Canvas. So if a faculty member enters a new message and broadcasts from there, it will go to their preferred email that's on file. So that was initiated. I'm not sure if it was, I like what Rick said, communication. I think that's really important. Because the concept of if they're not using a student email, it makes it really difficult, again, like you mentioned, the problem. You know.
No, and I'm not advocating for that. I actually believe it's a great tool and it will be very beneficial once it kind of settles, you know, and everybody has their email, but we're in transition right now. I'm more concerned about not being able to communicate with students that are still in that space where they don't have the college email set up. And we don't have the whatever email that they currently use, like faculty is not able to get that information anywhere.
So even in Peter's example, though, a student has to be fairly savvy to be able to go in
Yeah.
and use their preferred email. Now, what Susan or Dr. Copeland is doing, we are sending regular communications to the student's email address that they use during the time of application to say, you need to use your college email. Those emails are going out and videos are going out regularly. So at this point, some of this does fall on the student as to whether or not they have opened the communication in their personal email that says you have a college email and you need to be checking it regularly. But to your point, Reels, it is going to take, particularly with I don't think this will be as an issue with our new students because they don't know any other way. This is mainly an issue or challenge with our continuing students. But Susan Topham's office is sending out regular communications to students' personal email address saying this is a new process, you have this email. And to even Peter's point, we can now track whether a student has logged into their student email address and the volume is relatively high that are checking. So now we kind of narrowed this down to a very small group who are not checking their personal email addresses to see that they have a college email address.
Okay, that
Yeah,
helps.
what is, do you have the statistic offhand, the number?
87%.
Yeah.
That helps. Thank you so much. I'll reach out to my faculty.
Almost
A couple
90.
weeks ago, yes, a couple weeks ago, before CE went live with their start term. So I just want to revisit the concept of the MFA as well. And so folks that may have a full school phone that may not have the capacity, we provide a token and we can set that up for the student. So that token belongs to Charles. Only Charles can use that token. It represents, but it's another piece of hardware that someone has to carry with them. That's fine. If they choose to, we provide that for free for the students. We the help desk service has to be able to configure that for that individual. We mailed it, we've met the students, we've given about 60 of these out to students already, mostly from CE. And we have more, and that's part of the activity of having the on-campus presence on the table. We have a bunch of tokens. If John wants a token, give him a token. That's fine. That's a offer that we provide.
Any other questions for Peter? Well, again, Peter, thank you and your entire team. Charles has definitely made himself present on the
Thank you,
campus.
Charles.
Let me talk real quickly about Charles, and maybe you can introduce yourself. He came from another district. He's already verified that City College is the best place he's ever worked in his life.
Charles.
But when you submit an IT request, it'll likely be Charles and his team that respond. Do you want to maybe quickly just kind of share what you and your team do here at City College?
Yeah, so right now, Paul and I and Robert, we're working on the switches for the Wi-Fi backbone, and also we're taking care of trouble tickets for to you guys, if you have a trouble ticket for the end, showing up eventually, or it's doing it all this. If you need done, it'll wind up in our hands. Take care of it.
Good. It's always good to put a face to a name for those who don't know who's behind the IT help desk. It's largely Charles and his team. And thanks, Rose and Peter, for being here, everything you all are doing. And we will work with Caesar to get a communication kind of high level of some of the points that you hit so that we can make sure that others are aware of it.
I'll be happy to come back again, give a status update on the Wi-Fi and the remaining 140 computers that we're going to order. Get that moving forward, and
Let's do that. Let's do it when, if we can time this right, let's do it when the launch of the new Wi-Fi, maybe we can do some screenshots of what it would look like.
Sure.
So that not only
Yeah,
those of us here, but those watching can see it.
sure, we have heat maps and green blobs all over the place to cover.
Thanks again.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Wait, Laura,
Thank you.
Peter, really far in the corner. Yeah.
Speaking of great work, I'm going to turn it over to Marciano to introduce one of our newest faculty members, not to the district, but certainly to City College.
So as Ricky mentioned, we've had lots of folks that have chosen to come to city to be a part of the city family. And so Elaine Eng has joined us from Miramar College as our new student health director. So we're excited that she has joined us and brings a wealth of experience and a wealth of leadership to the health center. So we want to bring her in briefly today to introduce herself. She has about a 10-minute presentation to quickly do to talk to us about the services, but also to there have been a lot of questions about COVID and protocols and things like that. So she's going to try and answer them during her presentation as well. So.
And you have a lot more time than we did at the Senate meeting. So the floor is yours. I know you have a wonderful PowerPoint.
Sure. Try to access the PowerPoint and
Well, you have it on Drive, or you have to access.
can I send it to your email? or-
I didn't have a thumb drive, so I do apologize.
No worries.
Avi and his team will get you some thumb drives.
I know, but I can port it over.
Using the thumb drive, Caesar?
Yeah.
Yes, if you have one, then I.
Looks like Robbie has Robbie to the rescue.
Thumb drives from her folks. You do.
That wasn't part of the new hire, the welcome kit.
It was actually.
Would be,
trauma is always way back. Or.
Yeah, while we are working out the technical part of Elaine's presentation, you'll see two upcoming visits that we're going to have at City College. The first of which is virtual, which is the ACCJC, our accreditation visit. There are two pieces to it. One, you all momentarily in the not so near future will receive an email from either Janelli and Caesar about the run a show for that, which would include the participation of College Council in the meet and greet with our visiting team and key areas of the campus. That'll be done virtually. Caesar will send the run a show to you all so you see which areas are going to be present, but you all are welcome to join us in the Zoom to welcome the accreditation team. That'll be about a 45-minute meet and greet on Friday, October 13th. Like I'll give you an example is Sean and Maria Jose, we definitely want you all to carve out about 5 minutes in that meet and greet to talk about participatory governance here at City College. We're going to have John, our Native American Studies professor, lead us off with a land acknowledgement. It'll just be kind of a high level, here's how we do things at City College and introduction to the site visiting team. So be on the lookout for an email. That date is on Friday, the 13th. Yeah, like I called that. That's how I was thinking. The second piece of it is an hour-long open forum, and there'll be flyers for both of this. The flyer for the meet and greet will go just to College Council and the people who are in the meet and greet, because after the meet and greet, there is an hour-long open campus forum that the vice presidents and I gotta stop saying the exec team because everybody here is the exec team, but the vice presidents and the president are not invited to the campus forum. It'll be led by Susan Murray. We'll introduce the chair, and then the chair will take over the open forum, and all of that information will be coming out momentarily about both of the events to this group, but the campus event to the campus to invite folks to join us all virtually for the ACCJC campus visit. Friday, October 13th. Susan Murray, I don't think we realized it was Friday the 13th. But I'm sure we'll get through it. Anything else, Susan, you want to share about that? No. Great. And so there are parts to this for people who are here, largely myself, Tilly, Sean, and Maria Jose, and Caesar. We reviewed the draft. I'm going to go to number 8 just real quick because it is quick. Our campus board meeting is October 19th. Caesar has the run a show, which is listed there. And we will be communicating with folks for the walkthrough for the October board meeting. And I will turn it back over to Elaine, whose PowerPoint is up. Thank you, Caesar, Robbie. Sure, Sean has some role in it.
Yes, thank you all. I appreciate your help and support, and that's what I love about City College. It's so warm and welcoming. As Marciana mentioned, I'm the new director here at the Student Health Clinic. And I'm going to give a short presentation, just a quick overview of the Student Health Center. The Student Health Center is comprised of 2 areas. So the Student Health Clinic, which has registered nurses, nurse practitioners, physicians. Exactly, if you were visiting your own, going to a regular clinic at a hospital or seeing your your doctor. And we offer free low-cost services for the enrolled students. We offer walk-in as well as appointments, in-person and telehealth options. And I just listed off some of the services we include, which include free consultations and visits with any providers, as well as TB screening, COVID testing, laboratory services, vaccination services. And if people need prescriptions or renewals of their prescriptions, we offer those services as well. And that's just a small snapshot of the major services that we offer here at the clinic. Underneath the Student Health Center is also mental health counseling. We offer free confidential counseling for enrolled students, and that involves individual, couple, and family sessions. Therapy is offered both in person and teletherapy, walk-in options, as well as appointment options. And on the website, there's some great events that are upcoming, and there's a very small print, some of the plethora of events that are ongoing, but I just wanted to highlight the suicide prevention fair that will be coming up on Monday, September 18th in the A patio from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. I also wanted to mention that we have launched Timely Care, and which is an app which provides aftercare, actually 24/7 options for students that want to access a mental health care provider or have a health question. So students have more access and more options with that. So primarily, I was asked to come here to give a COVID update. And I just wanted to share just briefly a few slides about what's going on. So just a brief snapshot of the data that's going on in the United States. So hospitalizations are up, deaths are up, but the most common, the bottom line message that I really wanted to let people know is COVID is here. There's an increased rate of COVID. And that's across the United States. And then briefly taking a look at San Diego County, I know these slides are a bit small, but similarly, we see an increase in hospitalization rates, plateau in the deaths rate, which is good, and as well as an increase in people who are testing positive for COVID. And just know that the testing rate is probably higher than what is actually being presented, because most people are testing at home and that information is not necessarily reported. But again, the message is that the rates are going up and that people, and COVID is here. The other item I wanted to mention was that, this is the season. It is not only the season for COVID virus, but it's also influenza season as well as RSV. So just know that.
I mean, there are other things out there besides COVID.
Yes. There are. So
And Dee looked at me because she's been trying to get me my flu shot since I arrived on campus. I saw that look.
Okay. Yes,
She's gonna follow around.
So
She did one time.
yeah, so flu season is among us, and the data is from August, so the numbers are low, but we want it to stay low, so that's why we're encouraging vaccination. There's data that will be coming out monthly, so I just wanted to share a snapshot of this data. So the question is, why are cases rising? And so I wanted to mention there is a new variant out there, which has, a high number of mutations. You might have heard people say BA.2.86 or Corolla, and that's causing part of the rise. The other reasons for why cases are rising, there is low vaccination rates for people getting their booster. So if you did not get a vaccine after September of
2022, you're definitely due, and it's time to get up to date. There's waning immunity with some of the vaccinations, and also people are starting to use less COVID-19 mitigation strategies, so less masking, staying apart. So some of this has caused, the rise in cases. Specifically on our campus, students, the rise in cases, people are sick, but they still want to attend class, and they want to ensure.
They shouldn't attend class if they're sick?
No, so they should not attend class if they are sick. Just to clarify, they should not attend class if they're sick. However, students want to learn, and they, and for some, there's the class attendance requirements, and for some individuals, they may feel an obligation, to come to class. And so I just wanted to point out, it's important that, instructional faculty are being flexible and, trying to work with students. And I have seen it. I do see it on a daily basis that faculty members are working with their students. But I just want to spread the message, stay home if you're sick. And to try and.
That's like a t-shirt waiting to happen. It's not COVID.
Yes. Okay. That's right. Yes, that's great. So I just wanted to relay that. Yes.
Will the health department have, will the health center have the latest updated boosters available for students?
So so that will come on in a later slide,
Okay.
but we are.
Sorry, I just anticipated.
Oh, yeah, no, but perfect.
I'm glad you asked.
Yes, I'm glad you asked that. That actually will come in a later slide, but just to answer your question, we are partnering with Champions for Health, who are coming onto campus to give free COVID vaccine and free flu shots. Free flu shots, yeah, for everyone. So students, faculty, staff, their family, anyone, if they want to come, that will be offered. We have 3 dates on the calendar. I'm trying to get some additional dates available, so that access will be here.
That's great.
But
And you said free.
yes, free. Free.
Anyone.
Free for any. Yes. So just a brief overview of where we are now. COVID is likely to become endemic. It's unfortunately we're gonna have to find a way to live with it, and we're at a time when where we have more tools to manage COVID. So those common strategies of staying home when you're sick, wearing a mask or face covering, washing your hands, covering your mouth when you're coughing. These are common strategies that we all have to remind ourselves and just, practice. And there's COVID testing options, antigen at home, as well as PCR testing in lab facilities. And there's also treatment. So there is Paxlovid, and providers can prescribe it. We have the ability to prescribe Paxlovid as well. So just know that there are treatment options, and of course, vaccination. So as mentioned, vaccination is one of the #1 strategies to help manage COVID, the severity of COVID, as well as the rates. And so, we're entering a new chapter with COVID, and, we want to emphasize, it's about personal responsibility, educating and education about those common sense strategies, about getting vaccinated, about testing. As I mentioned, COVID vaccination is very high priority prevention strategy. And right now it's about outbreak surveillance. So our office takes a look at the data of what's going on in the country, what's going on in our region. We look at wastewater surveillance to see what is going on to help try to figure out the best mitigation strategies at the time. So hence I put the bullet point risk-based COVID-19 mitigation measures. So just to point out, COVID-19 protocols are fluid. So, you know, what I say today may change in an hour, it may change tomorrow, but I just want to let you know that flexibility is key. And here at City College, I have found that, you know, everyone has been very open and just very understanding of that. So I just wanted to remind everyone. So what are the campus mitigation strategies? So education is first. So we offer classroom presentations, a general overview of the services offered at center. Every classroom presentation that we've been going to, we've been handing out at home COVID test kits to the students as well as to the instructor, and just to let them know that, you know, we have test kits that are free and they can come to the center if needed. Also attending student club meetings, and as well as having a website available that Caesar has generously been updating. So I appreciate all of his work and his office's work in getting some of that information out. The second strategy is testing. So primarily on this campus, it's antigen testing, so the at-home COVID test kits. At our health center, we do offer testing at our clinic, and we have test kits available. Students can come in, grab a test kit. Staff and faculty as well is welcome, because I work with the county and the state to acquire some additional test kits just to keep our campus safe as best as possible.
Does the health center and facilities have the same tests?
Facilities.
So John Parker has a supply of tests, which I don't necessarily like his version.
No, so I didn't bring, I should have brought tips for everyone here. So I have the iHealth, the orange that has two tests.
Yeah, John Parker's, you need 2 doctorate degrees to figure out if you have COVID.
Yeah, it's not as seamless as.
Oh,
No.
well, if those are the good ones, I have them.
Yes.
So, yes, so
Good.
I'm happy to, I'll bring some over to anyone who wants them. So yes, so I acquired about 2,000 kits right now. If you need more, I will work to get more. So, oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know what I did. Oh, there we go. I apologize. And then let me just. Okay, and so the third strategy is treatment. So as I mentioned, we are able to prescribe Paxlovid, but it is insurance dependent. So the best way to get free COVID treatment and have the Paxlovid paid for is to go through Sesame Care, which is actually a free virtual COVID-19 visit for all Californians age 12 and up. And that's offered by CDPH and that's offered by the state. So just know that resource is there for everyone here in the state of California, age 12 and up. And so you can have a virtual visit with a provider, and then they can help guide whether you would need, rest and staying home and taking care of symptom management or getting Paxlovid prescribed. And the fourth strategy is vaccination. So as I mentioned earlier, we are offering free COVID-19 booster and flu vaccine events on site. Currently, we have 3 dates available. So September 21st, October 19th, and November 16th here in D121 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And so that will be an option here on campus. And if you can't make those dates, you can go to myturn.ca.gov and make an appointment at a local pharmacy or at a local facility near you.
Now there's your dates.
Any questions?
I have a question. Oh, go right ahead, Jane.
Sure.
Yeah.
The TB testing, and it's still free for employees from our district.
Yes, TB testing is still offered for staff and faculty members, so we care. So we are most likely definitely here.
And then my last question is counseling services still available? Faculty staff, counseling.
Counseling, no, unfortunately not.
So for employee related, we refer them to EAP. And the link is on the district's website. We were doing some things with COVID funds for employees, but it wasn't the level of EAP.
Welcome, Arlene, to the team, to the family. I just want to clarify the reporting, because we hearing that there's no need to report, there is need to report. Only faculty should get reported if they tested positive for COVID. Students don't have to. No student need to be reported if they are positive. So we need to clarify that.
Get clarification. So, I don't know if John wants to speak on the employee front.
Yeah, well, both the employees and students have confirmed with risk management that will resume reporting during COVID. Send it to risk management, copy the manager, employee, and me. And they'll advise accordingly. If there are symptoms, they should quarantine 5 days from the beginning of the symptoms. If they test negative, they test positive again, it's quarantine for an additional 5 days. But the reporting is the same. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Yes.
And there is a email forthcoming from the district that I expect any hour or day now to clarify this, because we have been getting this question a lot. And we are seeing larger numbers of people with COVID.
But I appreciate John, because John is saying the same, but then today when I was in a meeting,
They said otherwise. You know, we should probably update our website because since the district was that earlier this year, we did the district COVID meetings, it hasn't been updated. That's the district policy.
And I'm gonna move us forward because we do have one other presentation, but I know Elaine is available and John, just for the record, is over our health and safety committee. So if questions do come up from those who are watching on YouTube or any of the members of College Council, please reach out to Elaine and or John Parker. Let's give Elaine a round of applause. Welcome to the Queen. You have made your presence known and we appreciate you. You are officially citywide and a great addition to our campus. Welcome.
Email her with your questions.
Yeah, please, and invite her to present in your classes or the groups. Very much open to do so. I'm going to transition to our last update, which it is Latinx Heritage Month, and being a Hispanic serving institution, there are a number of events going on to include probably the highlight of many of the events this Friday, but I don't want to steal Adon's platform to provide an update as this falls in his area. So our Dean of Student Affairs, Adon.
Thank you for the invitation. Once again, everyone, good afternoon. And so, yeah, we have a couple of flyers going out already for we in terms of primarily the poster that I'll pass around. I didn't make a lot of copies just to be sustainable.
Yeah.
It's perfect. So it's in your email, and you'll see it across campus and social media websites. But this is the poster that leads to the calendar of events. That has a list of many events starting from September 15 all the way to October 15. And so I do want to thank everyone, the faculty, classified staff, and students who are putting together events to celebrate this community, communities, the Chicano, Chicanx, Latino, Latina, Latinx communities within our college and our region. And it is the first kind of identity celebration of the year that we have in place. We do have plans for others throughout the year in connection with national celebrations. And it is an opportunity for us to really highlight not just our student population, but ourselves as individuals and employees of our community and really see it from a strengths-based approach and really celebrate and honor the big accomplishments that our communities have done at city and within our region. And so you'll have that poster that leads to that calendar. Because the communication has gone out in the last 2-3 weeks in terms of the calendar, folks have reached out to add more things. So I do want to say that you can still continue to add more things. Please reach out to me directly. You can find my information somewhere online. And we'll definitely add it. It's one of the reasons why I like doing the Google document for a calendar of events, because we can update it. So as you share information and details, we can update it as we go along. But that way we can save the date and let folks know that there's events coming up. The big highlight, is the event that we're really excited about. We're excited about all the events. But this event, especially because we do have a more of a regional focus and attention to City College, is the Chicanx and Latinx Educator Network event. I think this is now our second event that we have as an Educator Network event. If you'll remember, we had one in February, part of Black History Month for Black Educator Network event. It was phenomenal to have folks from within higher education, the K-12 system, and community members to come to campus. And just like the presentation earlier about city events, give folks an opportunity to see our campus, learn about what we have to offer at City, learn about the facilities that we have on campus, and really about the culture that we have here at City College. And so this is one more event that will kind of have that same message. And we're already in communication about doing one in the spring semester focused on our Asian American Pacific Islander communities. So there's more, as there's more interest, we really want to highlight the multiple roles and identities that we have at City College. And so with this event, you'll see folks from within our district, like Dr. Tina King and Dr. Susan Topham, and then also some other folks from the region, all the way to Dr. Daisy Gonzalez from the California Community Colleges. So we're very excited. They're a phenomenal group of folks who will share a little bit about their story, share about their journey in their careers and where they are right now. And part of the event will include, the first part will include a job fair. We want to make sure that folks know that we as a college, as a district, we're hiring folks still for many positions, from part-time positions to full-time positions, and both in faculty, classified, manager level positions. And also at that time, we'll have some food available. So dinner options will be available, and then also mariachi. So the youth mariachi group that performed at commencement last May, Mariachi Victoria from the City Heights School for the Mariachi, will also be performing for that first hour. And then we'll transition to more of the formal component, which is the panel with the 5 folks, moderated by our very own Clarissa Padilla, our regional.
Do we know how many people are RSVP'd over?
I didn't check. No, but we're expecting, we're hoping, that they're definitely coming in, and as more marketing goes out. So thanks, Cesar, for helping us with the marketing outside, with newspapers and radio stations. But we are hoping, we did order food for 250 people. So we are hoping that with our own campus and our district and our regional partners that we have a lot of folks, please continue to push the marketing of it. More marketing will go out today, tomorrow. It's been going out every day. But please continue to send information to your networks within the college, outside the college. The event is open to everyone. I have received a lot of communication or questions about, well, I don't identify with this population. Can I still go? And my answer is yes. The event is open to everyone. The event does have this Chicanx Latinx perspective, but we do have a lot of the messages that the panel will share and a lot of the resources that will benefit everyone who attends the event.
And I want to just commend you and everyone who put this panel together. And I remember Maria, Jose, and I were having a conversation with a group. In this conversation, just as me paraphrasing, but this notion that the the Latinx community is not a monolithic group, right? When I look at this panel, there are two Afro Latinos on this panel. There's a Brazilian on this panel. Like, this is the beauty of diversity, even within the Latino community, to be celebrated, and this notion that this is open to anyone. Come learn about someone else's culture, come learn about someone else's experience. It'll ultimately help you identify with other people outside of your own experience. So super excited about this and look forward to everyone spreading the word about this event as we hope to make this part of the City College legacy, that we were the first ones doing this to bring communities together, both inside the college and outside of the college. Kudos to the team to put this together.
And if I can just add in one more plug for another program next Wednesday, Clarissa and her team are doing the Noche de Familia. So the college community is invited to join our first ever Noche de Familia at San Diego City College. We're encouraging our students and their families to come learn about what life is as a college student and celebrate our Latinx, Chicanx culture. They're gonna have a mariachi, lowriders, they're gonna do planetarium tours, activities for kids, and a lot more. And through culturally responsive events like Noche de Familia, they're gonna show up with their students that they belong here at San Diego City College. So please encourage students and their families to come and do this. And as you all know, this is for us. If we get their parents and their families here, we're also trying to make a push that they also belong here, and increasing our likelihood of getting their families enrolled for either late start classes or for spring. So this is a huge endeavor, and we're really excited about hosting the students' families here, because a lot of our students who are first gen, their families don't really know what it's like when they say that they're coming here to college. And this night that's been set up is really to give the parents and their families a snapshot of what is it when their students leave and come to see what is it that they're doing here, right? Because they don't always know, they just know that they leave and they come back, right? And so this is a chance for them to kind of explore that in a way that will hopefully be meaningful to them. So we're excited about Noche de Familia next Wednesday.
And the last thing, I see Maximus has a hand, but before we get to Maximus, I don't see the flyer for the trip. Do you want to talk about the trip?
Yes, so the trip to Salamanca.
You can email it out.
Spain is, so we're taking a group of students to the Haku International Conference in Spain. It's going to be the first week in June. The applications are live now. They went open. The application opened in September 1st. We have spots for 10 students. The plan is to take make this as part of the Puente experience. So there are going to be 6 Puente students and then 4 kind of at-large students that are going to be selected to go on the trip. There will also be some faculty and classified professionals that are associated with the Puente program that will also be asked to participate in that experience. And then if those folks cannot go, much like we did with the Ghana trip for Africa, that will then open it up to other folks to be able to attend. But we're really excited. Bianca and I are going to do an info session week after next in the Student Success Center upstairs on the 3rd floor of the A building. We're going to invite any students who haven't completed their application or still have questions to come. But we've gotten lots of interest, including students who are asking if their parents can come on this trip. So that was really exciting when we got that one today.
So 10 all expenses paid.
We'll pay for it.
For students to go to Spain, and I believe that Maximus went to Spain this summer. What was it worth it?
Yeah. I went as a lecturer. Okay, yeah. I went as a study abroad this summer. It was in the summer, so it was very hot. But yeah, for a whole month, I went to Madrid. I was there studying in Madrid. And yeah, it's when they told me about it, when Ricky told me about it, and Marciano told me about it, I was like, oh, cool. I was like, it's because every time that I have like those amazing experiences, like the first thing that I kind of think about is like, okay, somebody else gotta have that. You know what I mean? Like somebody else gotta experience that, you know? So when I saw that, I was like, that's amazing, you know? So yeah, Spain is, and I was joking around with Marciano, but I was like, my Metro Pass still has credits on it. So I gotta use them up.
What was that? You had your hand up. I don't know if that was.
Oh, no, well, it was for the Noche de Familia. I know that as much as you guys all support me as well every time I do a presentation, I also wanted to share that in that Noche de Familia, my mom is actually gonna be presenting. Yeah, so she's gonna be coming down.
Get that on.
So yeah, she's gonna be she's right there in the picture. Yeah, so she's gonna be presenting in Spanish, some in English, you know what I mean? So I told her, I was like, a little bit of both, you know? I was like, and then actually it's important, it's really important for me though, because one, my mom's speaking, she's gonna give her perspective, and then I'm gonna be part of the student panel as well, so I'll give my perspective, a little bit more perspective. And then I think this is the first event that my dad is gonna attend, my dad too. Yeah, because I just talked to him about it, but he doesn't really know kind of what I do. So he'll have he'll have an opportunity to see as well as my mom. So that's what I'm just saying, you know, as I know you guys support me a lot, so I'm just asking you guys also attend that. And support me.
Thank you.
If I could just say, real quick, my mom would tell people that I'm a principal, because that's what all she, in her mind,
Yes.
when I talked about being an administrator, that's all she could equate it to, because she never went to college, so she thought that like the school experience, so that's how she'd still sometimes, like when people ask what I do, she's like, oh, he's like a principal at a college, and I'm like, not really.
That's what you say, oh.
I'm like, close enough.
I know we're over, hopefully this meeting was very informative. There are a lot of things going on and we're looking for ways to keep people updated. Please share this information out in your constituency groups. If people have questions, please refer them to the YouTube College Council so that they can see all of these important updates. I apologize if we've been over, but there's a lot going on. We're back. It's good to see people, and we'll see you in 2 weeks, next College Council meeting. Take care.